Hey guys, welcome back. I know that I said that we were going to start the painting on this part, but Terrainaholic left some feedback on the first part of the video and said this would be actually a good terrain piece for 40K. And I was thinking, yeah, it probably would, but there's no access to the part up here. So what I wanted to do, I was sitting looking at this last night, and I think what I'm going to do before we start painting is actually do some steps up to this. And I want to do some stone steps kind of like this, if you can see that. So I don't want to be straight, I want to be kind of curved like this. So we're gonna do something a little like that, only not quite that big. So what I'm gonna do first is just kind of sketch. I think I want them coming kind of down here. So I'm just going to kind of sketch an outline of where I want them to go. Maybe something like this. And they're going to be kind of shallow because we only have 3/4 of an inch here. So the other piece was actually 1.5 inches. So I had more to work with, but we're just going to go with a little bit here just to make it, change it up a little, because I get bored doing the same thing over and over. So we're just going to kind of rough this shape in like this. Now you don't want to go all the way through. Don't make these first cuts too deep. You're just trying to rough it in. And then you kind of want to rough out where you want your steps. So we'll go something like that. Okay, so then we're going to want to cut this first one kind of deep. Don't cut it too far because we don't want this breaking on us through use. And again, when you're using the knife, be really careful with this. Always watch what your knife blade is doing. Don't look away while you're cutting. That's just really dangerous. As much as you can, try not to cut towards yourself. If you are cutting towards yourself, don't use a lot of pressure. Don't ever try to force the knife if you're cutting towards yourself. I'm going to use a smaller knife now just so it's a little easier to get in the corners. And my knife blade is getting a little dull on the big knife, so that makes it a little hard to cut this stuff. I'm going to put a new blade in here in a second on the big one. I don't know if you can see, but I made this bottom step kind of thick because we don't want this breaking. I mean, this is something that's going to get fairly heavy use, being a tool caddy on your station. So don't make this too thin. All right, and then you just keep working the same way for the rest of the steps. Just carve these out. So there's a rough end for it. I tried to kind of carve them down a little bit in the middle, because if you look at buildings with stone steps or steps that have been carved into a mountainside or something, they're going to be kind of dipped in the middle from where people walking up and down. So I tried to do that a little bit. Now, also you don't want, well, I don't anyway, want really sharp edges, so just get a little piece of sandpaper and you got to be kind of easy with this. You don't want to tear it too much. Just kind of round off the edges of the steps if you want to. Of course, they're not going to be perfectly smooth because this sandpaper is going to rip the pink foam a little bit. But it's rock, so you don't really want it perfectly smooth. Okay, so I'm just trying to get all the pink flakes and stuff off, so when this gets painted, I won't have these things pulling off and causing problems and showing pink through later, because that would be aggravating. Alright, so there's kind of what the steps look like. And it's just, I just decided to do it because I felt like it, and that's the great thing about art, is you get to change your mind in the middle if you want to. Alright, so that's the end of the step making. I'm going to come back in the next part and we're actually going to put some paint on this thing.